morning, my inky friends. Today is day 17 of the Diamine Inkvent Calendar for 2025. I'm just trying to locate number 17 on here. Oh my goodness. Wait, is it 17 or 16? We did 16, right? Yeah, we did 16. 17, okay. Here we go. Spoiler alert. If you don't want to see the ink or see it swatched, turn off the video now. I've got an ink called Gala, which is a really pretty lavender color, and it's a standard ink. I've been due for a standard ink for a little while. Let's see if I can get this bad boy off. I learned my lesson yesterday. I'm going to agitate thoroughly and frequently this time around. All right. Sorry for the plastic ASMR. I know this says standard ink, but yesterday's ink said chameleon, not shimmer, and there was shimmer in it. And I suppose a chameleon can have shimmer in it, but it was a little misleading. Ooh, this looks to be a really pretty and vibrant purple, which I don't think we've had yet, so this is exciting. Ooh, look at that. Visions of sugar plums dancing in my head. All right. Trying to do one tool at a time as best I can. Oh, no, just a refresh. This was yesterday's ink, the Ruby Taffeta. I got about 2/3 of the way through my review before realizing there was shimmer in the bottom of that. So I redid this swatch, and not only is it a chameleon, but it is a shimmer, and it is a shader, and it is a sheener. Can you see that gold sheen along with all that gold shimmer? That's a stunner, and I am not usually a fan of gold sheen. I think I may have enjoyed this ink more if it was silver sheen, or even a bright red sheen. Shimmer, bright red shimmer. But I'm definitely going to be buying a bottle of this. All right, so today's sample. This is another one of those inks that writes very smoothly. It's nicely lubricated. Let's do a little large swab testing. Fiddlesticks with that. These nibs will be the bane of my existence. Falling off my dip nib holder is quite annoying. They are not supposed to do that. Probably has something to do with the fact that I am not using a Kakimori dip nib holder. I'm using a Tachikawa dip nib holder, but I was assured in multiple forums that it was a perfect fit, but I'm going to put the lie to that test and say that's either the 4th or the 5th time that's happened. So, I love how this is drying to such a nice light, like a lavender or violet color. Maybe that's iris, actually. It's just really pretty. And for such a light color, it's very well saturated. pulls down nicely with some water. This Col-O-Ring dip nib has given me some hard starts the last couple of times I've used it. Have any of you run into that experience as well? When I first started using it, it was flawless. I never had a problem with it, but the last couple of times I've done that, I've had some real hard starts on that. I wasn't expecting that. That Sailor is a pretty reliable brand usually, even on their lower tiered product lines. They put a lot of R&D into their products. Maybe I just have a bum one. Maybe it's user error. That could very well be. I wanted to get the big swatches out of the way in time for them to dry before we finish with this. I've been storing it in this really pretty Knock Co. Baker's bag in olive green. It's the perfect size for this Hobonichi. I hope it is also the perfect size when I switch at the beginning of the year to the Wonderland 222. And it's also an A5 size, so it should be fine. Here we go. So just looking at all of these swatches together, I noticed some glaring omissions here. Excuse me. We don't have a whole lot in the orange family. We don't have a whole lot in the brown family. We do have the smoky tobacco, the molten basalt, and I guess we could put the Marie Rose in there as well, and maybe this nostalgia, even though it started out as red and now it's brown. So we've got some good browns, but we don't have a whole lot of orange. We don't have a whole lot of pink. I'd like to see some more of those. Those are some of my favorite tones. And some more interesting blues. I've got the Celestial Skies, which is really pretty, and the Burr, which is the pigment shimmer, but and Frostbite, I guess that's blue. I'd love to see a more muted, dusty blue. I'm very big into that right now. All right, so let's take a look at what we've got so far. This is dried down very, very pretty. It's definitely got some beautiful shading. You can see it from the lettering on the Col-O-Ring dip now. It dries fairly quickly. And on the Midori cream paper, absolutely beautiful. There's one teeny tiny almost spot of bleed through, which is on that H, which I went over multiple times because I was having a dry start. So I'm going to chalk it up to that and not the ink, because nowhere else, even on the big swatch, is it bleeding through. Now, on the coloring cards, you can really see the shading happening here. I put some giant puddles down and then drew that down with some fresh water, so you can really see the effects on that, and no bleed through. I am going to go ahead and tick this off as a shading ink. Finally, we've got the 2025 Bad Batch of Tomoe River paper. Fingers crossed. Did it bleed through? Yep. At the beginning and the end, and a little bit in the middle. Not as bad as some others, but it's definitely there. It's just so unfortunate about this batch of paper, but I'm assured that it has been resolved for next year, and based on my own personal testing that I did, I'm satisfied. So just take a look at how vibrant that rinse water is. That is a beautiful purple. And I'm going to do something I have not done up until this point. I've got a package here. A little something something that I have been after for a little while. And I've just been waiting for the right opportunity to present itself. I have not actually laid eyes on this product, but I feel like this beautiful, delicate purple would look gorgeous in this little bad bit of business. What do we got here? Looks like a couple ink cartridges, which I don't think I'll need. You can see that logo on the end there. You'll know what we're looking at. We've got a Kaweco pen. I don't know if any of you recognize this box, but this was a limited edition Kaweco pen. I have been coveting for quite some while, and I finally found it. This is the iridescent pearl version of the Kaweco collection. It's got a very pretty shimmery tone to it. There's an extra cartridge in there. No converter. I was kind of hoping it would come with one. But I'm going to pause this video and see if I've got a converter, because I would like to ink this pen up with this beautiful purple ink. Alright, I did not find a Kaweco converter, but what I did find is an empty Kaweco cartridge and a blunt tip needle syringe. So I'm going to do something I've not tried before and fill my own empty container. Let's clear the decks a little bit and set myself up. Memory serves, I was only able to find a medium nib. Yes, medium. So that means that this ink should show off some beautiful sheening, because it's going to lay down a fair amount of ink. So let's see if I can do this correctly. Seems to me I've got a little ink left in there, so I'll run that through with some fresh water later. But I've got my full empty ink syringe, and we'll just pop that in there like it was a cartridge. Firmly and with intention. a gentle squeeze until I start to see some ink running through the channels of the feed. That way I know that the ink is reaching. There we go. And I'm just going to let that set for just a couple of minutes to saturate the feed and the nib. And I will prop that up. And hopefully that is primed. Let's just get a little swatch down. Day 17, Gala. I think that purple tone suits the iridescent sheen absolutely beautifully. Well, there goes my first fill up with one of these inks, and I couldn't be happier. I think that looks great. All right, I hope you enjoyed this. If you could give me a like and a follow, that'd be great. Leave me any comments or questions you have about anything that you saw here today. And outside of that, take care of yourself and take care of each other. Have a great day.